Hello, lovelies. Hey, welcome back again to the interview show called About. And yes, you know, this show is all about introducing you to up-and-comers within the art, entertainment, and fashion industry. But we also feature those that have already got it made in shade, and they'll teach you how to do that. And once again, we have another fabulous one, Ali Hassan. Aww. Thank you, Ali, for coming out.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. This one's a big one. I already know him because we run in the same circles because, you know, we're like badass like that.
I'm from Kansas, as you could tell. So yes, of course, we don't have to. Yeah,
okay. On that note, tell the lovelies where you're really from.
I'm from someplace that you may or may not have ever heard of. I was born in Fredericton, New Brunswick. It's in the Maritimes. But my parents come from Pakistan and India.
Okay.
I was born in Fredericton, New Brunswick. And then since the age of 2, I was in Montreal.
Ah, okay.
So I grew up most of my life in Montreal with a little bit of time in Toronto, a year and a half in Chicago.
Hey, there you go. Yes, that's what we were asking the other day. What do you miss? And I'm like, deep dish pizza.
Yeah, I don't. Deep dish pizza would ruin my day. Like your day's over. This is the way, the way people talk about ecstasy. They're like, listen, the next day you can't do anything. I'd be like, what about deep dish pizza? The same day you can't do anything.
You actually do have a background to be able to talk about that.
About food? Sure.
Yes, because you're a chef.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like, you know, on the side. I was like, how did you get from being a chef to comedy?
Since I've been a teenager, I've always loved food. My mother had high blood pressure. My dad got some sort of heart disease, angina at the same time. And they basically made these drastic changes in the kitchen where it was like no salt, no oil, and no flavor, really. So I was just like 15 and I'm yearning for the food that they used to make. And so I'd get this Kraft singles and a tomato on white bread. And years my mom couldn't realize. I'm sorry too. But I mean, it helped in some way, but soggy sandwiches every day, every day. So I told my mom, I'm like, I hate your damn sandwiches. I use way worse words than that, and my mother wasn't having it. She was like, all right, you're gonna speak to me like that? You make your own sandwich.
That's right.
So I got what I deserved, but I also made the most of it. I started making, you know, like omelet sandwiches, and I started like experimenting with like, oh, if I put this lettuce here, then the tomato doesn't make the bread soggy, and you know, maybe this meat is a little bit better. And I was spending my allowance or a little cash that I would get on little food. I was like, oh, I'm gonna get some roast turkey. We never have that in the house.
No, that's a way to do it.
So then, and you know, by the time I was in college, I was like the go-to guy with all my friends. We live in a different era right now where you have all this exposure to the Food Network and so many food shows. Back then, none of it.
Nope.
You know, late 80s, early 90s, we'd go on a ski trip and my buddies would be like, okay, Al, what should we get for groceries? And I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna make chili, or I'm gonna make a big pasta and garlic dinner and a certain salad. So very simple stuff.
Right, yeah.
But, you know, I'm 18, 19, and I'm being relied on by 9 other just complete fools who know nothing. So I was relied on for that, and I relished the opportunity. You know, I wouldn't be like, why are you guys getting me to cook? I would always be like, thank God we're getting me to cook. I can do something. I have a palate, I can make this work.
Yes.
It did get me to Chicago.
That's good.
Where people take their food so seriously.
That's right.
And so I was a consultant by day, and then I was a bouncer slash sous chef at night.
There you go.
And it's like a little bar and grill place. So sous chef is even a bit of a fancy word for what I was doing, but I loved it so much more than my $60,000 a year consulting job, which I would have given up in a heartbeat for a $22,000 a year. You know, 2002 I started my serious chef stuff. I started really like training myself properly.
So then from 2002, you're doing this uptick on doing your chef and the cooking and doing all the culinary. But then in 2008, you got into comedy.
2006, I got into comedy. I was managing a restaurant and its catering arm, and I started my own catering business on the side, and then just started catering. applying to things at the Food Network.
Okay.
Like there was like, what's it called? Superstar Chef Challenge, something
Yeah,
like
I do
this.
remember that.
You remember
The next chef challenge, something
exactly.
like
The person becomes a
and have your own show.
Exactly.
Yes.
You know, you think you're an entertaining person and you're a chef.
Right.
Combining those two is not as easy as it sounds. When you're trying to be entertaining and off the cuff, but your mind is like, is that burning behind me? Is that garlic on too high?
Right.
Did I leave the fridge door open? I'm supposed to cut celery in like 30 seconds so that this is only 5 minutes. You know, you got so many things in your mind.
Yeah.
It takes time
to
really combine.
So that's what made it, maybe doing that too much of the multitasking, and it was, okay, I'm gonna get more confident in doing the comedy.
You nailed it. I just basically said, I know I want to be a chef on television one day.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I was hosting these weddings, treating the weddings like a comedy show. If you ever been to an Indian wedding, 400, 500 people.
Yes.
I mean, that's a huge audience.
That's your audience,
and you treat it like it's a party.
Yep.
And I was like, I'm gonna start open mics. And I'm gonna start at these comedy open mics, and I'm gonna treat the audience like they're a studio audience for a television show. Yeah. I'm gonna build my persona and all this kind of stuff.
Wow.
So, and then I fell in love with comedy.
You ended up doing one of the first ever comedy festivals to take place in the Middle East.
Yeah, the first,
The first.
Yeah.
That's bold. And it was like, and your performance was so strong, opening for Russell Peters, they asked you to come back next year.
Yeah.
You were rocking it out.
Yeah.
And then it earned you a spot on the Canadian leg of Maz Kohani's Brown and Friendly tour.
Yeah.
That is pretty cool.
Good.
And then you like kind of parlayed that into hosting the Arabs Gone Wild.
Yeah, Arabs Gone Wild was fun.
And I'm like, how? I mean, that is such a good thing. I mean, and how did George? Did he pick up on this? I mean, because you're the lead comedic person there on the panelist for George Strombo for the three things. And you hold it down pretty good.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I feel like really something pretty special has happened. We just wrapped on 160 episodes.
Saw that, yes. And that was a high five moment.
Yeah. If you really have something that you want to do and you're destined to do, you know, the only thing standing in your way is time. But you will get there. Yeah. You will get there. You know, that's all I can.
Lovelies, they're full to see that. I mean, because no way that I was thinking that this would ever happen.
Yeah.
I get to talk to you and you're rocking it out. So, what else are you working on? Are you still doing Bland is Boring?
Bland is Boring on hiatus, but blandisboring.com is a collection of me doing these short webisodes, 2 to 5 minutes. There's about 30 of them of my favorite recipes. Some of the best stuff I can make. Salsa's great. I haven't bought bottled salsa in 5 years.
Just amazing. I'm going to work that one out.
Yeah.
So cool.
In fact, my mouth is watering right now just thinking about it. But that's a nice salsa.
So, the puppy dog question. Yes, the Lovelies have been waiting on this one, and I picked the one that actually made my husband laugh out loud, and that is a feat. Yes. So, Al, if I gave you an elephant, where would you hide it?
What do you? I mean, look. I got a business side. I would start looking at ways to sell that elephant.
There you go.
We have a very small piece of land in Etobicoke.
Yes.
That thing would be spotted. You know how people react about a chicken in your backyard?
Yes,
this is an
honey.
elephant.
Yes.
Chickens attract rats. You can't have a chicken in your backyard. An elephant would be an issue. In Etobicoke, Ontario, by the airport, it would not be good.
So now I get to change it up a little bit and hand off the show to you.
Yeah.
So.
Now, you were a model at one point.
Yes, I was.
Allegedly. You were a model at one point.
Yes.
And what was the drug culture like? You know, there's a couple of girls. What's her name? John Stamos' wife, and that other girl, Tyra Banks.
Yes.
They were like, we must have been the nerds.
Yes,
of the
they were nerds. Yes,
because we never saw drugs, and everyone talks about how much it was there.
I don't know how they didn't see it.
Yeah, is it everywhere? It's present.
At that time, when I was early '90s. Late 80s, and that was when like the pinnacle hit of the supermodel. And it's either you were a supermodel or you were kind of like that budget model, and you did pretty much anything and everything. I didn't, because I have a healthy fear of my mama. You had to be able to work it around. It was like the running joke of your diet was Mountain Dew, chocolate covered cherries, and a line of Coke.
No kidding.
Yeah, but that's what kept you thin and kept you viral. You were going in, and then you were doing auditions at 7 in the morning in line with every other cattle.
Wow.
It was a hot mess.
Yeah,
But,
well, good for us both, because
yes.
you know, it's music, food,
yes.
the restaurant business,
yes.
comedy, and then
yes.
modeling. And those
yep.
are the 4
those are it.
industries you can think of that are very hard partying,
yes.
and lots of drugs.
all the
kind of
time.
stuff.
Yeah.
We made it, kids.
Yes, honey. Thank you. Thank you. And yes, big time. Al, thank you so much for coming out. I really appreciate it. And we are definitely going to have to do an Ali 2.0.
I hope so.
Maybe a 3.0.
I hope the material
yes.
is there for that and continues to come up.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It's sniggling over here in the background. I think it's all good. So yes, Lovelies. Make sure you check him out. He's on Facebook. He has 2 actually on Facebook. He's on Twitter. He has blandisboring.com. You need to check that out. Recipes are fabulous. He's on George Strombo. He's on the 3 Things panel, and they're going to be starting back up in September. He's all over the place, so you have no excuse. Nothing to do the woo-woo for Ali. All right, and thank you again, Lovelies. I so appreciate you guys coming out and partying with us. And as always, do the thing I tell you to do. Take good care of yourselves, make sure you stay happy, and I will see you out and about. Hey.